What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I'm back again with another video. If you are new to this channel, hi, my name is Rivah. It's very nice to meet you. Before you get into this video, make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you guys give this video a thumbs up. And as I always say, make sure you guys leave your comments in the comment section down below. No matter how you feel about this video, we all want to talk about it. Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, follow my Instagram. It's at RIVAH_JORDON. And if you already know me, you know I like to go ahead and get right into it. So let's go ahead and see what's going on.
Kevin, I got a question for you. For the past 3 weeks or so, we're talking about the Black community, culture, and so forth. One of the questions that was posed tonight is, I understand that like your channel, our channel, and a lot of others, we're pushing growth as far as just everyone. As people, what pushes us towards growth? Focusing on the community as a whole, or just the Black community?
That's a good question.
What pushes us towards growth individually? I'm trying to understand where the question is coming from.
Okay, so basically, I'm asking, if we're pushing growth, should we push growth as a whole community, or just focus on the Black community?
Well, both. Because you can grow in the Black community, but you still gotta compete. How competitive are we? Because I've heard the back and forth a little bit, but the movies that we love, the great debaters and all these things, was back when HBCUs and that kind of stuff still made, when we got Thurgood Marshalls out, where TSU could go debate Harvard and Texas Southern could wipe the ground with them because Dr. Thomas Freeman was the philosophy teacher. Shout out to Dr. Freeman, rest your soul. But now what are we producing? If we're going towards, the Black community needs an economy, and we need power. Just like any other group. We are not playing the same game other people are playing. Look at the LGBTQ community. They play with game of power. Look at a very small, I don't want to say the word because YouTube has a thing about this particular word, but the people over in the shared area with Palestine, they play a game of power.
But they stick together, right?
Well,
they do.
What comes first, though? They have a family structure first, and they also are united under their religion and the family structure. But when you have 6-year-old kids going to camp, they're going to the Torah, and then also in the financial camp at 6 in foreign languages. We have to think about competing. How are we competing? Because we can be a small unit, but if we're getting our ass kicked in the Olympics of life, then what?
That statement is so valid on so many levels, because a lot of our people in our community are failing because of a lack of knowledge. And then you have a lot of other people in that community that have a lot of knowledge. I'm not saying all, because there are people who are willing to give information, but you have a lot of people who know the information, and even within their family structure, they don't want to tell anybody else because they want to be the one, right? They want to be the one person that comes around that everybody treats a certain way because they made it out. But they would never, even though they obviously could, they have the knowledge and know-how to tell the other families how they can break the chains of poverty and change the cycle in their lives and all these things. They won't do it. They won't do it. So when Courtney says, oh yeah, those other people that he was talking about stick together, and then Kevin said, but it starts at home in that family structure, that's so valid, because they have like mommy, daddy in the same home, first of all, and then everything else comes after that. But they have a certain structure that they abide by no matter what. And they keep it within their own communities. So I think that already was like super powerful.
So we can have individual contributors. But the problem I see in the black community is when somebody decides to be Tiger Woods, we shun Tiger Woods. To where Dave Chappelle had to make a joke about getting him back, the racial draft. Because and I will say this, I was on when I was in college, we went from Public Enemy and X-Clan to gangster rap. And we didn't understand the damage that was happening to our community. Mm. So when we're sitting here and if there's it's like black people are really just supposed to be one dimensional. You got to be street, a hood. Like we are not allowed full human expression. You're like Seven Dust. Anybody ever heard of Seven Dust? Living Color, the band.
Oh yes,
yes. Black rock and roll.
Yeah.
Why? So we have to keep our best and brightest and our talented. That means the people who may move differently, who may talk differently, have a different kind of different kind of cadence when they speak. We can't be calling them sellouts. We cannot afford to have a black brain drain. I've said this one day on a pro-black channel. There was a stat that 30% of black men who responded to this statistic, 30% of black men with bachelor's degrees who married, bachelor's or higher who married, were marrying out. And I asked, what are we going to do about that? Unanimously what the response was, I don't care what them sellouts are doing. I don't care. I was like, you don't want to know what 30% of your college educated are doing? And the black men and black women across the board, I don't care what they sellouts are doing. I'm like, and that's a problem.
Yes, Kevin. Oh.
But we don't. But what we don't like to do is when we go ask those people why are you doing what they're doing, we want to reject their answers. We want to question, and they say, "I don't do it because I was rejected. I was not welcome. There was no place for me. I was made to feel X, Y, and Z." So I'm like, all right, you want the black community to really thrive? You're gonna have to have a reclamation. You're gonna have to.
I think that's super important too. I agree. I agree that once you have that conversation and you ask and you inquire, I think as long as the reasons aren't disrespectful to our own race, stuff like weave and stuff like that, because all races wear that stuff. So I think if it's not, or like nappy hair, like, because I've heard these things from people in our own culture. But I think if it's stuff that's like, well, every time this or every time that I just felt like this, I feel like it's worth having a conversation about and hearing about. I remember even myself when I was like growing up or whatever, I would, I didn't know what I was. I did not know what I was. And my sisters and I say it all the time because of how my mom looks, how my grandfather looks, how my grandmother looks. We didn't know what we were. So I would just hang out with pretty much everyone. I really didn't know the difference. I really didn't see color, and that's a lack of better words, because obviously you see color, but I didn't really see the difference, because when I looked at school and I saw all the different variations of skin pigment, and when I went to my family parties and I saw all the different variations of skin pigment, I didn't see the difference. I looked at everyone like, oh, you could be my cousin. Like, oh, you're Asian, you could be my cousin. Oh, you're white, you could be my cousin. Like, I looked at everybody the same exact way. However, people did not look at me that way. Being the way that I talk and stuff like that, like, people would always tell me like, oh, when I would try to hang out with people within, my community, I would hang out with everybody. But the people within my community would be like, oh, you're like a white girl. Like, oh, you're, what I'm saying? And I would be like, but I'm not. And how come when I'm over there hanging out with them, they're, not really saying anything, which is not true, because sometimes they would say things and I would have to correct them. They would say things and then they would be like, oh, but you're not like black. And I'm like, but yes, I am. Yes, I am. And then I'm not hanging out with you because now you, like, what are you talking about? So I was always in this kind of like limbo And in actuality, it's like, what, I can listen to whatever, I can hang out with whoever, I can, delve wherever, however, I am who I am, And so I feel like when they say like, oh yeah, like, if you have a different cadence when you speak, I think that shaming has to definitely stop, because just because you articulate yourself, just because you speak a certain way, just because you like certain types of music, it doesn't negate who you are and what your blood is. It doesn't change anything, because when you go outside, you are looked at the same exact way, no matter what your hair looks like, no matter how you dress, nothing. If you're black, you're black.
Claim your black. You're gonna have to reclaim your black talent, and we need black male media. We need a black economy with a patriarchy.
Yeah.
We're the only community that has a matriarchy, and coincidentally, where are we as a community ranked?
No, I totally agree. Kevin, I'm so glad. I'm glad you said it, Kevin. I'm glad you said it. I'm glad.
Now, see, when the game, here's the thing, the game of power, it's always about winning. And it doesn't matter if it's power chess, power tiddlywinks, power monopoly, power slide. People who want to be competitive will always draw the best. A players want to be with A players. Even if they're just getting together on, like the Dream Team in 1992. Some of those guys they were competitors. Some of those guys couldn't stand one another, but they love playing together. Mm-hmm. We have to keep our talent, and in particular, we have to keep our talented black men, because we don't have a patriarchy. Like it or not, black women, hear me and hear me well. As incredible as a lot of you ladies, we're proud. So men of other races don't look at women as competition. Mm-hmm. Every other group of men, when you put their best and brightest out front, they put the men up front. And in the black community, we got Stacey Abrams and folks like that. I'm sorry. Hillary Clinton learned a lesson. She was eminently more qualified as a politician. But white women made Donald Trump president because they understood. That's the reality. That's the word.
Understood the strength of their men is the full statement. Understood the strength of their men. Understood the power of their men.
That's the rules. That's the rules the world is playing. And in my opinion, if the black community is going to move, we have to move into play what the world is playing. We like the bad is good, hot is cold, up is down. We're counterculture, such and so forth. Yeah, that may work in your house, but when you get out in the world, you got to play. You got to play by the rules, and then win by the rules. Mm-hmm.
Powerful.
On this episode of Lapeef.
Powerful video. I honestly just want to jump into you guys letting me know what you guys think about this video right in the comment section down below. I'm sure sometimes you guys hear the video and you guys just automatically start typing and talking to let me know how you guys feel. But I'm really interested on what you guys think about this video, because he touched on so many different topics. And I really want to know you guys' opinion. So I made my opinion in my statement. I do feel like, yes, once again, this goes back into the whole dynamics of a lot of the content that you guys are seeing, that I'm reacting to, about where our community can do better outside until our community is doing better at home, until our family structures are restored, until chains are broken on, what do they call it? Generational curses. And no, you can't just wake up and have an attitude. That's not normal. Something's wrong. You need to speak to somebody. Get that trauma out of you. Don't put your trauma with somebody else's trauma. Now y'all both have trauma. You having kids and raising them in toxic family structures. Now you guys don't want to deal with each other. Now this child is parentless. Like, we need to just get it all together from home, and then all of these things that he's talking about with financial structures and patriarchy and all these things will fall into place because everyone will be more willing to cooperate with each other. I cannot tell you how many times I have gone on social media and I have seen people talk about, black owned business doesn't mean discounted, right? Or doesn't mean you're getting anything for free, right? From the person who is creating the business's standpoint, right? From the business owner's standpoint. And then from the other person, the consumer standpoint, it's like, well, just because you're black owned doesn't mean I'm going to buy from you. I don't see that anywhere else. I don't see it anywhere else. It's like, you have like different people promoting like, oh, black owned businesses on this day and on that day and on this day and on that day. And then all you see is all this negative conversation coming from coming from the consumers and coming from the buyers. And again, men, this is what I was thinking to say too at the same time, are not competing with their women in other spaces, because everybody in other spaces understands the different roles that we play. So, and once again, in different spaces, I don't want to call out specific races, but in other races, they understand, like, no, he's the man, I'm the woman. We're both necessary to this situation. However, he's the leader, and I am going to be cooperative with him. I'm going to be submissive to him. And then in our community, it's not like that. It's like, oh, well, who he think he is talking to, and who he think he is. And you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like I think the work has to start in family structure, then we can progress and everything will work cohesively. But I want to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel. And make sure that you hit that notification bell, because I post a video every single day. And but the time varies. So if you want to be the first one to notify when I post a video, just go ahead and hit that notification bell as well as the subscribe button. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you guys leave your comments in the comment section down below. And if you're not following me on Instagram, follow my Instagram. It's at RIVAH_JORDON. I love you guys so very, 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 very much. I literally post a video every single day. Yesterday was the only day that I literally did not post. I was just trying to get a lot of things together. And I'm not going to lie, it felt like I had a month off. So that will never happen again. So just make sure you guys stay tuned. I love you guys. I thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Love you.